Alright, what's going on everybody, it's Liam here, and welcome to today's video on the channel. And in today's video, I have the best level 160 myth builds for y'all for both PvE classic mode and both PvP advanced mode. We'll be starting off with obviously the classic mode because most people, are PvE players on Wiz. But before we do get into this one, guys, this is my third video. We've done Storm, Fire, and now Myth. I really want to know what you guys want to see next. I have my balance, my death level 160 at the moment. So just comment down below on what school you would like to see next for the best PvE and PvP builds. Alright, so for the stats, you get about 9.3k, 206 damage, 42 resist, which is a lot for a myth. I have 22 accuracy right now, but keep in mind, I do not have a triangle socket on right now. 22 accuracy will allow you to power your base spells, but if you don't want to fizzle your shads, you could easily socket a triangle socket right here on the deck. I just don't have one. Crit and block are really good. I would suggest swapping out the hat I have, which is the Void Raid hat, for either the Malevolent hat or the Uber hat from Caramel, and obviously Lemuria if you have it. If you do not have that, you could also run the Raid Melody hat to get extra crit rating in PvE, which can help with bigger damage multipliers. And you'll have 46 Pierce, which again is really solid for a myth. Perfect pips. Conserve is honestly pretty good, and decent shad rating. So I'm running the Mythic Void hat. Again, I would prefer, not Dragoon, but I would prefer Malevolent or Uber hat if you have that, or the Nullity hat for 160 that you obviously get from the raid. Then I'm running the Nullity robe again from the raid. There's just nothing else that really can compete with this robe on every single school right now. So definitely, get into a guild and do a raid if you can. I have the Aeon boots. They're just very cracked and very solid. Aeon wand, obviously, right? Highest damage you can get here with good stats. Aeon ring, Aeon theme as well. These are basically like merciless, as you can see, but they're direct upgrades. So you'll want to get your Aeon gear. I'm running the Dragoon Amulet as well. If you do not want to run Dragoon Amulet, you can run the Shane Darkmoor one you get from Shane in the second tier of Darkmoor. I do not have that one. You'll honestly get pretty good stats. You'll have 50 Pierce and a bit more crit. So it's a pretty good alternative, but I do like the 4-pip Dragoon AoE. Obviously, we have the classic Philosopher pet with the 6 damage set bonus on the mount as well. And then the deck I'm running is the Supreme Ferocious deck. Again, I do not have a triangle socket, but I still have perfect pips and really good accuracy. If you do want to have perfect accuracy in terms of not fizzling shadow enhanced hits in PvE, you would just socket, easily an accuracy socket here. However, if you do not care about that, like me, for example, you could run, some shad rating. You could run an item card blade, right, to stack and, have a bigger buff in main deck, which is pretty good, which is probably what I'll do personally. So, honestly, myth stats are really cracked. I know you guys have seen Fire and Storm so far. Myth is a bit more defensive than Fire and Storm. That's why you have, 6 less damage, roughly, but you have a lot more resist, good health, still really good Pierce. Myth is a very good school with this update. Alright, now for the spicy part of the video, the PvP/advanced mode build. So, one thing I'm going to say about these stats is they're probably going to blow your mind. I don't think there's really anything quite better. I'll talk about something that is, obviously debatable after I show you guys the stats, but let's get right into it right away. You have 9.4, almost 9.5k health, which is really, really solid. 172 damage, which again, really solid. 63 resist. If you do not want to run a mastery, you can easily run the Void Amulet, which will give you more health and more pip conserve and 2 more resist. So you can get 9.5k and 65 uni resist with the Void one if you're comfortable not running a mastery on a myth. Perfect accuracy, crit is decent, block is good. 54 Pierce, I'll say that again, 54 Pierce. Really good conserve, good shad, and perfect pips. So, as you can see, just scrolling through the stat page here, you're not really missing out on literally anything on a myth right now. maybe a bit of crit rating, but that doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things, right? You almost have 500 crit, right? If I really wanted to, I could slap on a deck like this and get 500 crit and fix that problem. However, I do prefer the Void Mythic cards. So we are running the Void Hat for level 160 with the Aeon Cape, the Aeon Boots, the Aeon Wand as well. Now, I prefer the Aeon Wand over the Nullity Wand on a Myth for a couple of reasons, actually. I think when your Pierce is this high, right, keep in mind a Tower and Spirit Shield is only 50%, right? When your Pierce is this high, I think it's more important to invest into damage once you get to the 50 Pierce, like, ballpark. So for me, it's more important to have the extra, 6 damage rather than the 2 Pierce on a Myth Wizard, right? Considering, fire, storm, they only have 50 resist flat. That's 4 extra pierce I have that I just don't really need, right? So that extra 6% damage is, really good on a Myth. So that's why I prefer the Aeon Wand. Obviously, we have the Aeon Athame Ring, right? They're just the best for every school, practically. I like running a Death Mastery, actually, because, I like to reliably have a blade counter and not have to worry about a death pip. Also, I pack Banshee on my Myth and my side as well, which is a very, very good card at the moment. I'm running this pet right now. It is free to play, so you guys don't have to worry about, raiding or buying packs or anything like that. I think I can put this in the kiosk. I'm not sure if I can, but if I can't, just, again, hit me up on one of my streams or come through to the Discord server and shoot me a DM or at me in the server, and I can help you with making any of these pets. Clockwork Courser, obviously, to juice up that Pierce a little bit. If you do have a Myth Gulcher, that is also a very good alternative, right? You can swap 2 Pierce to get an extra 3 damage. Very good alternative if you do not have the Clockwork Courser. That is just as viable, if not better in some cases, honestly. Then obviously, I am running the Raid deck for pretty cracked stats, and obviously the Mythic Fuel card, which is pretty nice to stack with the pet. Obviously, I can trap a lot. I can Moose Trap, Deck Trap, I can Delusion Trap, Betrayal Trap. A lot of trap talk, by the way. So, and then TC Betrayal as well. There's a lot of stuff you can do on a Myth, and I've honestly been having quite a great time on my Myth so far. Even though, I get sniped pretty often, I'm having a good time. Now, some people might have some questions about shield pins. Yes, you give up shield pins for this build, but that's kind of the thing with this audit is these are definitely the best stats you can get on these schools, and unfortunately, you just cannot run shield pins on these schools. Now, I don't think it's a huge deal when it comes to some schools, when I'm looking at Storm, for example. Storm deals with life and fire pretty good. Don't really need a pin, right? Same thing with fire. You deal with ice pretty good. You don't really need an ice pin. With Myth, arguably, since death is pretty broken right now, you could argue shield pins are pretty important on a Myth for the, obviously the death pin. However, I'm just kind of waiting on the Dumoni nerf, and having like 63 or 65 resist, in my opinion, with this amount of stats is just good enough for me as a player. So I would rather take better universal stats and more consistency over just having, pins and winning off of pins, essentially. But let me know what you guys think about this build in the comments below. It's really cracked. I honestly couldn't believe it when I saw it the first time. I'll keep it so real. It's pretty freaking wild. But yeah, I really want to know what you guys want to see in the next video. Whether it's death or balance, let me know. I've been having a lot of fun on the balance lately. I'll keep it real. But yeah, hope you enjoyed it, guys. If you made it this far, be sure to leave a like, rating, and subscribe. I do post every single day, if not every other day. I'd really appreciate it. And yeah, I'll see you later. Thank you for being here. And as always, take care, guys.